minute. But first, joining us with reaction, former IDF head Aaron Cohen is with us, former FBI special agent, Fox News contributor Nicole Parker. Nicole, I can't imagine. We see that they have pre-positioned baseball bats. They were handing out earplugs and gas masks. They have frozen water bottles. They're pelting cops with that and with Molotov cocktails. They're throwing fireworks at them. It's an untenable situation, also preventable, also predictable. And then you got handcuffs on local law enforcement. These guys are doing the best job they can under the circumstances. President Trump saw what happened in the summer of 2020. You know, how many people would have to die? How many people would have to be injured before he would then act? At that point, it would be too late, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. And this will not be summer of 2020 part 2. I guarantee you that. President Trump is coming in strong and he's saying this will not be tolerated. And Sean, this is a very different situation than we were dealing with before. I can speak for myself as a former FBI agent who was working for the FBI during that time frame. You fast forward to right now, you've got Director Kash Patel, and he's saying there is zero tolerance for this. You have Attorney General Pam Bondi, zero tolerance for this. There will be harsh consequences. Under Christopher Wray, there was a posture of stand down, don't do anything. Merrick Garland, I mean, they didn't want to charge anybody. Now you've got Pam Bondi, Kash Patel. They will be extremely aggressive. I do believe that this is highly orchestrated. It's not a coincidence that all of that was planted there. But again, the games will be over. President Trump saying we're going to take charge and we're not going to have a replay of what happened in the summer of 2020. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I totally agree. Aaron, let's get your take on this. You understand tactical strategies in situations like this because the IDF deals with it, unfortunately, on a regular basis. I don't see any other alternative, but if local law enforcement don't have the authority, if they can't even ask the legal status of somebody they encounter, how could they possibly use proper law enforcement technique that is necessary in this moment?
Well, Sean, you're absolutely right. Excuse me. Law enforcement is using an incredible amount of restraint. These are from sources of mine on the ground, actual cops who are on the streets, who have been justified in several different instances where they could have used lethal force but didn't. They're under constant duress and they're under constant threat. So that's one. But I want to speak to the bigger picture with this here from the counterterror angle. This is a counterintelligence problem. And what's happening in Los Angeles isn't free speech. This is coordinated insurgency. And what Nicole just alluded to, we've got political-backed money, digital organizing on platforms, masked agitators who are flooding the streets right now again with the Palestine flags, every other flag but the American flags, and politicians who are quietly standing behind this all. You just spoke to Newsom. No one's doing a thing. Bass isn't doing a thing. And so this has nothing to do with immigration. This is about control, Sean. Control of the streets, control of the algorithm, and ultimately control of the country, which is what they're trying to do. And this is low threat domestic intensity is what this is. Insurgency. This is what this looks like. And if this was overseas, and we saw this happening right now with U.S. troops, mobs trying to overrun Marines outside of an embassy, torching vehicles, and trying to breach perimeters, this would be terrorism, Sean. And the ones who are paying the price, law enforcement on the ground. And so Donald Trump was right to send in the Guard, to activate the Marines. And now it's time to start following the money and prosecuting. And that's where I come out with all this. It's all nonsense, and there's a lot behind it.
Us Israeli Special Ops veteran Aaron Cohen. And I think it's important, Aaron, just to kind of go over because, you know, the chief of police, Jim McDonnell of Los Angeles, said that his troops, his police officers were overwhelmed in some of these riots. And I'm wondering, do you change your tactics? Do you add more police officers? We know that every single police officer in Los Angeles is on deck tonight because it's all hands on deck, Aaron.
Well, I can tell you this, Trace. If this was happening overseas right now in, say, Baghdad, and one of our embassies was getting overrun by locals and torching military vehicles, this would be an act of terrorism. But because of the political optics and all the nonsense that's happening, there's unclear messaging coming out from the LAPD and from these agencies, because you got federal on one hand coming in aggressive, the guards now rolling in, you've got Marines from Pendleton on standby. But really what I'm seeing here is there's no clear rules of engagement. And I can tell you that from sources of mine inside Los Angeles law enforcement, I'm not going to name who, they have told me that there's been several occasions where they have been justified to use lethal force but haven't. And the reason why is because they're trying to keep this thing on the reins, pulled back, de-escalating. But local politicians who want to de-escalate, it's creating this tactical trap. And so officers are stuck between optics and survival, Trace.
Yeah. I want to play, on that note, I want to play Attorney General Pam Bondi. She's talking about this concept of saying you can't run, you can't hide. She said the following to Sean Hannity.
So you can run, you can't hide. We are coming after you federally. If you assault a police officer, if you rob a store, if you loot, if you spit on a police officer, we're coming after you.
Coming after you, Aaron. I mean, that's the whole thing. You look at the crowd kind of gathering here in Santa Ana. It has grown just in the past couple of minutes that we've been watching this. It is also our understanding that it's growing in downtown Los Angeles. But when you talk about police officers now trying to get some backing, because that's in essence what they're doing, Aaron, they need some backing. It didn't appear as if they were getting it. Newsom didn't want any help from the outside, didn't want any help from the federal government. And it appears to me that the police chief in Los Angeles was like, man, we could use a little bit of help.
Trace, there's so many fluid pieces that are rolling around here. I agree with you on everything you just said. One, there's real-time coordination being used, and Bill Malugin talked about it, via various encrypted apps. And so groups are using Telegram and Signal and these like mesh networks to stay one step ahead of law enforcement. So they're in the back, and then they're attacking law enforcement, throwing some type of incendiary devices, firecrackers, to try and escalate and keep them on edge, and then dipping back. They're disappearing and then re-emerging. And so they're playing this guerrilla warfare game, tactics that you would almost see in a Hamas playbook playing out on the streets here in Los Angeles. Then you've got the intentional doxing and targeting of ICE and LAPD officers who are out there trying to respond, and they're stretched thin. The intel sharing must be a nightmare right now because this thing is unfolding real time, and you've got multiple agencies in the same operational space with decentralized coordination is a term I'm going to use. You've got the feds doing one thing with their operation, LAPD and LASD on another page. You've got Chief McDonald, who's doing his best, but I'm like, Karen Bass and Newsom, and you know me, Trace, I don't really get political, but the moment the leadership of this city starts taking operational command and bending the rules for political will, you're putting law enforcement lives in danger. And as a reserve deputy for 17 years, I take personal offense to that. It's dangerous, and it's going to get a cop killed. Let me take a minute and tell you guys about something incredible that I'm building and why I need your help. It's called GIDEON. It's the first real-time AI-powered threat detection system for law enforcement and schools. It scans the open web, social media, Discord, Reddit, gaming chats, and flags violent signals before they explode. We're talking about radicalization, grievance buildup, martyrdom language, the exact warning signs we've seen before Uvalde, Buffalo, and the D.C. embassy murders. And right now, there's no system catching it. So I'm building it. And I'm asking you, my audience, the people who care, to help me fund it. Every dollar goes directly to engineering, law enforcement deployment, and getting this into schools and across law enforcement agencies across the country. And so if you've ever asked, why didn't they stop this? Or how come they didn't stop this? This is the answer. And if you're one of those serious guys out there watching this and you're a fan of the show, the ones with the capital, access, reach, the network, and you want to partner with me to seed this mission, I want to hear from you. Reach out to me. Click the link below and reach out directly if you're one of the big dogs. I'm building the system that stops the next attack before it starts, and it's called GIDEON. Appreciate you guys.